Okay, we are headed out on our last big adventure of the summer, and this is a big one. All summer, in fact, for the last year, we have had our eyes on this backpacking route in the northern section of Grand Teton National Park. It's the most remote part of the park. Ranger updated his estimate from they give out 4 permits a year for this area to 7 permits a year for this area this morning when we picked up our permit. So it is a very rarely traveled section. Probably going to be about 62 to 65 miles of hiking, depending on, side trips and everything. And about 8,000 feet of elevation gain over 4 days. So nothing too much bigger than what we did in Glacier, but just a lot more remote. So we are headed off on the Glade Creek Trail on our way into Grand Teton National Park. We are carrying a ton of food, so our bags are super heavy, but we'll make camp tonight, and once we start eating, the bags will get lighter. We made it to Grand Teton National Park officially. Okay, so we've reached our first intersection, and it's saying that Grassy Lake Road is 5.5 miles, which we have a little bit less than that reported on our watches. There's not a ton of information out there on this hike, so I'm going to try to talk about some of these landmarks and give you a sense of the trail in case this is something that you're thinking you might want to do. First 5.25 miles to the sign were easy peasy, like burned forest, so on a hot day it'd be super miserable. It is a very cold summer day today, like highs in the upper 60s, low 70s, and we're still hot just because the sun is so is hitting us through the dead forest. We've just reached our first patches of trees that are still alive, but the trail has been really easy to follow, very good grade. We are wearing gaiters, and they've been helpful, but
I've been glad I have mine.
Yeah, but kind of just the threshold where we're happy to have them. So yeah, first 5.5 miles, big thumbs up. All right, we have made it up to the turnoff toward Florellan Divide Trail and still making our way toward Jackass Pass. We think we're about half a mile from camp. The scenery has really gone in and out of different kinds of terrain on this section. We've had some really nice forested stuff. We've had some open meadows, and then we've also just gone through some absolute mud pits, pull your feet up out of the mud that's up to your ankles. So pros and cons. Well, we found a spot to set up camp. Not an established campsite by any means, but a flat enough spot that felt far enough away from the patrol cabin to be respectful. The patrol cabin is right near us, which will be nice. It feels like there's, you know, like evidence of civilization because of the building. We're currently trying to hike the Florellan Divide Trail, and we're on real trail right now. It's been a bit dicey. Definitely a lot more of what we expected this whole day to be like. Is that the trail? Wow. Well, we made it. Moose Basin at what peak? Owl Peak. Huh. Cool. Coming to an end. The hike back down Florellan was much better since it was downhill, and we also had already seen the faint path. We did have a couple of points where we had to re-find the trail, but funny enough, those were at some of the exact same spots we had trouble with on our way up. So really consistent in where it was difficult. This is our campsite area. Our tent is right behind that tree, which is giving us some block from the wind. And yeah, it's kind of beautiful up here. It's really nice to be here now that the threat of rain has largely seemed to pass, at least for the time being. So we're gonna hike to the creek right here, fill up our water bag, and then probably work a little on the tent, and then work a little bit on thinning out our food bag. Whew. All right, it's the morning of day 2, and we're hanging out on the porch of the patrol cabin, the locked patrol cabin. We fell asleep or waited out a thunderstorm in the tent before we fell asleep last night. So we woke up and everything is soaking wet this morning. Everything inside our tent, everything around us. So that's a bit of a damper on things. But we are gonna do a short hike from camp, about 10 miles this morning. So we will be able to leave our gear set up, and hopefully it'll dry out before we get back. Then we'll have lunch here, and then we will head on down the trail to try to find another campsite. We are on our way at Jackass Pass, and it is getting really pretty. And the trail is like a trail. It's got a lot of eroded patches, but it's also like easy enough to follow. And we're following horse poop, so we're pretty sure rangers or somebody have been up here on a horse. Oh my gosh. This valley, this morning light. Just in case you missed it, there's some snow up on those hills yonder. We think it was probably in the upper 30s, low 40s last night up here.
You yonder.
That was fun. We made it! Jackass Pass. After the pretty spot back below, we've been doing this hiking through high forest, and the trail is like wide and open, and it is really lovely. We are actually going to exit the park for a little bit to get to our next trails in the park, and so we're entering Targhee National Forest. We should be actually meeting up at the Teton Crest Trail soon, which this is not the most popular part of the Teton Crest Trail, but it is part of an established long distance trail. So we're expecting that to at least look like it's been used a little bit more than what we've been seeing. Okay, so we stopped for our last snack break of our first 10-mile hike for the day, and we are hiking still in Targhee National Forest, heading toward the Berry Creek area of the park, picking up a steep section that this time we get to go down. So we went up a steep section to get out of the park, and we're going down a steep section to get back in. And the Teton Crest Trail that we followed was definitely spoiled us. It was really nice. We were able to mostly find this stuff, but it was super pretty back there. So glad we picked that up and didn't do a bunch of out and backs today. We're coming in to our camping area again and have this really great view of this long valley. So that green valley between the trees, that is what we hiked through to get to our campsite. All right, we are packed up. We are headed out. We are leaving the Berry Creek Patrol Ranger area and heading back down Berry. And then we're gonna make our way over to Owl and look for a spot in the lower Owl Canyon area, probably near the intersection with the grassy Glade Creek Trail. So fingers crossed, we got another 10 miles or so coming up, and that'll wrap up our day. We'll probably be super tired. All right, we are into our last half of our second hike for the day, and we're on the Owlberry connector. It's got a lot of blowdowns, which has been really frustrating and slow. But we are coming down off of the steepest stuff, and the trees also are thinning out a little bit. We did see a person, which was sort of a surprise. We ran across a guy who's doing sort of like his own made up through hike from Mexico to Canada on a couple of known trails, and then who knows what in between them. He gave us a warning about the blowdowns, but whew. Which way is it?
Oh, that way.
Okay.
I came through here.
Okay. After a long, hot stretch on the Owl Canyon Trail, we have reached the intersection that we were looking for, and now we are looking for a campsite, which we're pretty sure is just going to be in there.
Let's go this way.
Whew. Final destination of the day. We found a 0.2 mile spur that connects the patrol cabin with the lake. And so we hiked it. This is Jackson Lake. Across the way somewhere is Lizard Creek Campground. You can see vehicles. Oh my gosh, I am covered in mosquitoes. We're gonna have to go.
Yeah.
Whew. So we had a big, hard day. We definitely did over 20 miles. We probably did not quite hit 21. Some easy trail, some hard trail, some high forest cool stuff, some just open hot, crawling over blowdowns for miles stuff. It's been a really big mix today. And we're looking at tomorrow, and we have 2 ideas for tomorrow. And so we're gonna sort of play it a little bit by ear, see how we feel during the day, and see if we're gonna take off a really big bite and push our limits, or if we'll just do a normal big bite and still be pretty crazy. So the shorter plan is to hike about 21 miles of a loop so that we can leave our campsite here. We are set up near another patrol cabin, and actually there's park staff working there today. They're doing some surveying of harlequin ducks. So we're set up kind of like in this grassy field near the cabin. It's near water. It's the best place we could find that might have had shade, but didn't really end up having shade. But we can leave our packs here and only carry what we need for the day. So we're gonna do 21 miles up and over Basin Divide. We're expecting the trail to be pretty tough for a lot of the day, like cairn finding and probably kind of like the usual that we've had out here, where like some sections are good and some sections are really bad. We'll definitely go through some shoulder high willow. We're definitely going to be crossing creeks and stepping in mud and water. If we get back to camp at a decent time, and if we feel up for it, we're going to pack up camp and head out tomorrow. So that would make it probably a 29 mile day, which is, a really big day. So we don't know if we're going to like have a lot of adrenaline and make that happen. We did 20 miles today and we're exhausted. So it's like doing 29 tomorrow sounds kind of stupid, but yeah, so we'll see what happens. It's going to be a day either way. Whew. Good morning from day 3 on the trail. We are setting out from camp at the base of Webb Canyon and heading up into Webb Canyon. We've heard rumors of things like waterfalls, and so we're hoping that it will be a little scenic on our way up. We're looking at a 21 mile loop to get up and over the canyon and back to camp. And we've seen about 3.5 of the miles that we'll do today. And they were like 50-50 in terms of being good trail versus frustrating trail. So those will probably be our odds for the day. It's early, around 6:30. We are technically still toying with the idea of heading back to our car tonight, but I'm nursing a ankle, probably shin splint wound, and that and sanity, being sane, might keep us at camp tonight. But either way, we'll be done tomorrow, and we'll be able to reflect more on the trip once it's all wrapped up. Look at this trail maintenance on the Webb Canyon Trail. So nice. We made it to the view of Moose Basin Divide. A lot of the summits around here have like steep sections and then shallower sections up to the divide. So we just climbed up this really steep part right here, and we're heading up to one of those two saddles next. Yeah, we suspect. We have to get to the other side of that mountain, so we're going somewhere over there, and there's a faint trail right here, so that's the direction we're starting. We had a lovely snack break, and we're gonna start making our way at some point. All right, we are 1,100 feet up from where we stopped for our snack. We have made it to the divide.
It's amazing. I'll just say it since you don't want to. It's amazing. You should come here.
My face makes it look like I think it's amazing.
Oh gosh.
Everyone
should come here.
This is unreal. I had only seen one set of photos from up here from a super old blog, and the person who hiked it definitely hiked it when the skies were smoky. And I was like thinking, what a bummer, like that's what our views are gonna look like. But the thunderstorm that we had that got everything wet cleared out the atmosphere, and we have had blue skies for 2 days, and there's not much better than Grand Teton with blue skies when you're hiking out in it. Over there, you can see Grand Teton, and that's Mount Moran.
Oh, saw this from there.
All right, so here is Florellan Divide. So that's where we were sitting the other night, looking here at Elk Mountain.
I honestly think at this point I'm following an animal. Maybe it's that. Oh my gosh. Hey, there's a carved log here. That means we're on the trail. Good job.
We are back at this intersection. It just took us a crazy long time to do 7 miles because they were mostly cross country, including overgrown stuff and down trees. So
At least 100 down trees.
yeah, I'm gonna say we've hit 200.
It was a lot.
I was at like, oh, maybe we're exaggerating with 100. And then we started hitting like 7 or 8 at a time.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Oof.
this was rough. We have another 4 miles before camp, 4.5 probably, but we have seen them. The first mile is pretty
gnarly.
challenging, but we're hoping since we saw it yesterday, we can navigate it okay. And there's a creek up there that we're gonna go sit in.
Let's go.
The first half of the day up Webb Canyon and up on Basin Divide was just amazing. Like, highlight of the summer. Yes, it was a hard climb, but they always are out here for the big views. We came down Owl Canyon, and that was not so great. Just the trail was in really bad shape. A ton of blowdowns that look like they've probably been left for years. So it was just difficult to get over them and around them and keep on the trail that was faint as it was. So it was a mixed bag of a day. We definitely took our time up on Basin Divide today to just really enjoy being there and taking it all in. It's probably not something we'll do again, so we wanted to really soak in the experience. Okay, so tonight we're gonna get back to camp, get our food bag set up somewhere, eat and clean ourselves up a little bit, and then probably get to bed pretty quickly. 5:30 a.m. wake up call. Good morning, day 4. We are on our way out. It is a lovely morning, crisp, cool air. We slept pretty well last night, and we are feeling super proud of ourselves for what we've done out here, and we're just ready to face the day and finish up this hike. So we've got about 2-ish new miles to do today, and then we will be completely done with every mile of trail in this area. And then we will retrace about 5.5 miles of our footsteps back to the car. Well, it has been 72 hours since we left our car. And that is going to be a wrap on our 3-night backpacking trip to the northern circuit of Grand Teton National Park. We did awesome. When we were planning this trip, we had a hard time finding information about it online. So I hope that if you're thinking about hiking any of the sections out here, that this has been helpful for you. If you're just here to follow our journey, I hope you enjoyed seeing some of the harder stuff we have to do. Sorry if I was a bit of a Grumpster Fire. And no matter what, we hope you'll think about sticking around to keep following our adventures by subscribing. And above everything else, we hope that you have a great hike wherever you're headed next, especially if it's somewhere in Grand Teton National Park.